Stand before a painting and your eyes begin their work. They dart across the canvas, drawn to light, color, and form. But what do your eyes reveal about your mind? This is the question we're beginning to answer in our studies of eye tracking. It is not only about what you see, but how you see it, the order, the rhythm, and the hidden logic of your gaze. The way you look is a mirror to the mind, a silent dialogue between viewer and artwork. The act of looking is not always deliberate. Often it unfolds before we are aware of it. By using head-mounted wearable eye tracking, we can monitor how viewers' eyes move across a painting, revealing not just what draws their attention, but also the emotional and cognitive underpinnings of their gaze. Let us illustrate this with two masterpieces from Munich's Alta Pinakothek, Van Dyck's San Sebastián and Tintoretto's Venus, Mars and Vulcan. These paintings are not merely images on the walls of this wonderful museum, but stories waiting to be taken up by the audience. What we see in our data is that the way we look at the paintings is uniquely personal about each and every one of us. Using a modern technique in data science called dynamic time warping, we are developing methods in our lab to explore and visualize these unique variations. Let's first turn to Van Dyck's San Sebastián. This painting uses light and shade to pull attention first to the saint's illuminated, suffering face, and then to the surrounding chaos of his martyrdom. It is a study in vulnerability and resilience. Heat maps from eye tracking studies reveal where all eyes are drawn to more often: faces, hands, areas of bright color. These shared patterns show what commands attention, but beyond this surface level similarity, our gaze follows unique paths shaped by emotion, expertise, and individual interpretation. The sequence of our gaze, the order in which we look, matters profoundly. It reflects how we make sense of a painting, what moves us, and where our attention lingers. In San Sebastián, do you begin with the saint's face, serene and sorrowful, before noticing the arrows and soldiers around him? Or do you start with the violence and circle back to the humanity in the eyes of the martyr? Turning to Tintoretto's Venus, Mars and Vulcan, do you start with Venus's reclining form, or does the drama of Vulcan's jealousy pull you in first? Some viewers are captivated by Venus's allure, while others are drawn to the humor of Mars's hiding place, or the sharp tension in Vulcan's expression. These patterns are as much about feeling as they are about seeing. They show us not just what we look at, but how deeply we connect with the art. The question also arises, did Van Dyck and Tintoretto intend for us to see their paintings in a certain way? This is something we see in movies, with the filmmaker trying to direct our gaze, such as in this iconic scene in Lawrence of Arabia, our gaze drawn to the point on the horizon. When it comes to art, the answer is likely yes. Van Dyck's use of light directs us to Sebastián's face first, ensuring our emotional connection before we absorb the surrounding context. Tintoretto, meanwhile, centers Venus as the anchor of the composition, drawing us into the tension-filled triangle between Venus, Mars and Vulcan. But not every viewer follows these pathways. Eye-tracking studies reveal fascinating deviations. Some viewers, overwhelmed by Venus's beauty, may never notice the alert dog pointing to Mars's hiding spot. Others may bypass Sebastián's face, focusing first on the violence of his martyrdom. These divergences highlight the interplay between artistic intention and individual interpretation. Eye tracking also reveals how expertise and background shape the way we see. Experts, for example, tend to follow systematic gaze patterns, lingering on compositional details and narrative elements with precision. Novices, in contrast, often take a more instinctive path, drawn to whatever catches their eye. Personal experiences, cultural background, and emotional disposition also play a role, shaping each viewer's journey across the canvas. What eye tracking shows us is that the same ways of seeing can conceal very different ways of looking. Paintings, like life itself, are not just about space, but about time. The sequence of our gaze, the silent story of how we look, is as revealing as the artwork itself. So the next time you stand before a painting, pause. Think not just about what you are looking at, but how you are looking. In that order lies the secret to understanding not just the art, but yourself.